Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a calm conversation that's meant to soothe you, relax you, chill you at work, and most of all, help you drift off to sleep. I'm your host, Marco Timpano.
I'm Amanda Barker.
Of course, if you want ad-free episodes of our podcast, you could go to YouTube and watch and listen on YouTube, or go to the insomniaproject.supercast.ca and follow us there. And Amanda, you know, our backpack episode was very popular.
It is very popular. But now that we've got the housekeeping set aside, I just want to give everybody the permission. You have our permission and the world's permission to close your eyes, sit back, take a big deep exhale, and just follow the conversation.
I wanted to talk about packing a suitcase since the backpack episode was so popular.
Okay.
So tell me, Amanda.
For me, the backpack it was popular for the reason that I like containment, and I like following things that are contained. I don't feel the same way about a suitcase as I feel about a backpack.
How do you pack yours?
I will say this. What I do like to pack is the challenge I most love is actually when we don't have a suitcase and we travel with just the backpack and the neck roll.
Okay, tell us about the neck roll.
Are you okay with that?
Of course. And then I'll talk about how I pack my suitcase.
That's fine. Great. So the neck roll, if you don't know about the magic that is the neck roll, then let me invite you to the community of neck roll.
And I should just clarify, neck roll.
Okay.
Because it sounds like you're saying one. It sounds like you're saying one word, neck roll, and so people might be thinking
it's now called a neck roll.
The neck roll.
That's what it's called. Like almost rhymes with mackerel.
Okay.
This is something that has changed my travel game. It is a pillow that clips. It's a long tube that has a zipper. It is made of like a nice velvety, soft material. You open it up and you can gently roll whatever you'd like to fill this pillow. And then it clips on both ends and becomes a neck pillow.
So it's a zippered item that you fill with certain clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes like a sausage.
That's right.
You then zip it.
Yes.
And then the two clips on either end clip together.
That's right.
And it forms a circle or a C.
Quite a large and substantial neck pillow that has, if you like a neck pillow on a plane, well then get ready. Because this thing is, one guy came on a plane once, like he was boarding and I was sitting and he went, well, that's a real neck pillow. And I was like, yes, it is. Thank you very much. I take my neck pillows very seriously. It's also my luggage. I didn't tell him that part. But I actually what I like about it is it does have the clip on the end with a little circle on the end, and then you can clip it on. And then I use that clip. And when we do a really long flight, which we haven't done actually in a while, but when we do one of those long hauls, overseas, one of those long haul kind of flights, I like about halfway through going into the airport bathroom, clipping that little clip, hanging it down. I gently unzip it so that things don't come tumbling out. They're all kind of stuffed and have found their little place in there. So they usually are fine. I'm going to tell you something. I get completely naked in that bathroom.
In an airport?
In an airline bathroom.
Oh, on the airplane.
Sometimes in an airport, but more likely on the plane itself.
So, okay.
So say it's let's say it's a 12-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
Around hour 6 or 7, time for Amanda and her neck pillow to go to the bathroom. I go into the bathroom. I take all of my clothes off.
Oh, my goodness.
I have a little wipe.
Okay.
I do a little wipe down.
Okay, we don't need any more specifics.
No, I'm not getting specific.
Okay.
I'm just saying I do a little wipe down.
Okay, fair enough.
You can imagine what you want.
Okay.
He's trying to cancel me.
I'm not trying to cancel you.
Editing me. We all know what a wipe down is.
All right.
It doesn't even matter. But even my hands, stuff like that.
Sure.
And then I put an entirely new outfit on, courtesy of neck roll.
I see. Okay.
And then I walk back feeling all refreshed, like I've just had a nice little change. And that's how I stay, I don't know, just feeling good on the flight. Like I feel like it almost feels like a new flight.
That's how you roll, I guess, right?
That's how I neck roll.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I usually, like, if we are going to say Halifax, which I want to soon, and we haven't planned it.
We need to figure that out.
I know. And Halifax is listening to this.
Halifax listens and gives me great feedback, and I love Halifax for it.
And apparently Halifax likes it better when I'm not here.
Well, listen.
It's what I heard.
Halifax did not say that. Halifax said that they liked my solo episode. That's all they said, really.
Well, Halifax is beautiful and supportive, and we love Halifax. We're just these are our family members. However,
my sister-in-law listens to this podcast, and I couldn't be happier, I have to say.
I know. She's so lovely. So if I were going out there, and I have done this a few trips to Halifax, I usually get a nice cheap flight. And I don't pay the extra for the carry-on or I just have the personal item, which is everyone's favorite, my yellow backpack. And now its accoutrement, the neck roll that I sometimes clip to the backpack or clip to my head, like around my neck. And so that'll usually have 2 or 3 pairs of socks, obviously changes of underwear, couple of shirts, maybe something like a nicer shirt that doesn't wrinkle, something more comfy as well. And I usually wear whatever jeans I'm planning on wearing. If, say, it's a 3-4 day trip, then I'll just wear whatever jeans. But I'll always have another pair of pants, like a thin black pair of pants that goes in there. You can only fit maybe 1, maybe 2. But you can usually get 3 or 4 shirts in there as well. Now, the only thing that doesn't...
Well, I mean... Your shirts.
My shirts.
You wouldn't be able to get 3. You'd be lucky.
Depends on the shirt. Yeah. Something more casual, something less casual that doesn't wrinkle.
For the record, I could probably not even get 1 shirt in there.
That's not true. You use it too.
I can get it like a little thin, like not a buttoned up shirt, like just a...
Well, and we wear layers too. Like we'll wear a sweater over a shirt on the plane anyway. But the only thing I can't usually get is pajamas. So I either just ask whoever I'm staying with, hey, do you have an extra set of, sweatpants or T-shirt or whatever? Or I've done this. I've just ordered pajamas. Just the cheapest pair. One time I stayed there in April and I ordered Christmas pajamas because they were like $10, and they were like quite big, but $10 Christmas pajamas. And I just wore those for 3 days and just left them there after, which, isn't the most environmental choice. I get it, but... Sometimes.
Unless you use them again next time you're there.
Yeah, but then you don't want your host to have to keep your old pajamas around. Even if you've only worn them a few times. But hey, free pajamas for them if they want them.
Sure.
I don't know who wanted my Christmas pajamas, but somebody might have.
Fair enough.
So that's my neck roll.
Amanda's backpack, which is bright yellow, tends to spill out a lot of things these days, I have to say.
That's not something that's completely true. And I don't know how that's soothing for our listeners at all when we've established that the backpack is orderly and secure. Yes, we've been traveling a lot and my life has been a little bit chaotic and messy in these last few weeks. So yeah, there was a bit of spillage today. In fact, it was recent, so that's why he's saying that.
And you had a little spill earlier today too.
But not with the backpack.
No, with the shepherd's pie.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Listen, it was a spilly day. I spilled my coffee this morning. I made a beautiful shepherd's pie with lentils. I don't use ground beef usually because we're not the Rockefellers. So I make it with lentils. But it's my stage 2 with lentils. I make a big pot of lentils and we have that with some bread, almost like baked beans. And then that becomes the basis of my shepherd's pie. And I mix it up with vegetables. And then I had a lot of potatoes. So I made mashed potatoes today and I made 1 shepherd's pie for us, and then 3 little casseroles that I put in the freezer. So those lentils are getting a lot of mileage. 2 cups of lentils, man, dried, turn into a big old pot of a crock pot full of lentil goodness.
Nothing wrong with that, unless you're trying to put the shepherd's pie into your yellow backpack and then spill it everywhere.
Why are you making disturbing ideas for our listeners who asked to be soothed?
You didn't finish how you spilled the shepherd's pie.
Well, I spilled it. I took it out of the oven and it slipped in my big, gigantic silicone oven mitts and splishity splash
Okay.
all over the oven, all over the wall. Later, I found it on my toes.
Oh,
So
okay.
it really got everywhere.
Little bonus.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take you through how I pack my suitcase
Thank
because that's
you.
where we were going to
And
go with
should
this.
I do disturbing comments that'll unsettle everybody?
You should never do disturbing comments on this podcast.
That's what you've been. I've been trying to create soothing ideas, and then you rat me out.
I don't rat anybody out.
You're like, Amanda tends to do this awful thing. That's your contribution.
I just said your backpack spills a bit. Okay.
Well, you spill a lot of things too.
It's true, but my backpack doesn't spill, but it's all black and the zipper pulls are all black too, so I can't find the zipper pulls because there's a lot of areas to zipper.
But you have a good system for that.
Now I put bright neon elastic bands around the zippers. So
Smart. So you know which one is which.
It doesn't look stylish anymore. It looks a little bit...
I mean, black backpack is not the epitome of style.
Well,
You're not on the catwalk.
This one here, the style is that everything blends together so you can't tell where a zipper is. The problem is I can't tell where a zipper is, so
right.
It's problematic. But when it comes to my suitcase, what I usually like to do is, there's always one part of the suitcase that has like these bumps in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where
the pulley thing
lives.
goes.
Yeah. So kind of like where the what's that book called? Where the monsters live?
Where the wild things are?
Well, the wild things are.
I like where the monsters live.
I just can only picture the
monsters.
Yeah. Okay, stop saying it. People are trying to sleep. And so
Marco sometimes takes his suitcase and it spills everywhere. Isn't that a soothing idea for everybody to hear about?
So that's where I put my smaller things like socks and underwear to make a sort of level playing field there.
I see.
Then I'll put usually like any sort of big items like pants or whatnot to make a layer of that. It's almost like you're making a lasagna of clothes.
A clothing lasagna.
A clothing lasagna in your suitcase, right? So a layer of pants.
Or a clothing shepherd's pie.
I guess. But I deal in lasagna, you deal in shepherd's pie.
I deal in lentils.
Right. So a layer of pants, another layer of pants. Then usually it's pretty flat. And so I will fold shirts properly. My button-up shirts, I'll button them all the way up. And then fold the sleeves behind, make a perfect square. Lay shirt upon shirt upon shirt. T-shirts. Sorry, I had to breathe in there for a second.
What happened there? You've been holding your breath? Nervous?
I guess. And then a shirt. And then any other sort of flat clothing will go there.
You don't roll everything. You're not a roller.
I'm not a roller.
I'm a roller.
You're a roller.
I believe in the roll. The neck roll. The jelly roll.
Yeah, you roll. But I think it's because your clothes are smaller than mine. They can roll better.
Well, I live by an ethos of anything I have to iron, I won't, so I shouldn't own it.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much live that way. I have a few things that are ironable, including my freshly purchased linen suit that I bought.
And usually I travel with a suit jacket too, so that I can't roll that.
No, you can't really roll that. That's fair.
Plus, women's shirts tend to be more rollable than men's. Like you have a lot of rayon-y things and things.
That's what I'm trying to say. I wear all oil and gas products. Everything I wear does not break down. I shouldn't say that. That's not true.
Not true.
Now I wear a lot more cotton.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually trying to wear more natural fibers. So that's something I'm consciously doing. But because I thrift, because I buy almost exclusively secondhand, pretty much I would say 85% of my wardrobe is secondhand. A lot of that is rayons and nylons and so on. So, and there's a lot I could do a whole episode on the clothing industry. But one thing I will say is that stuff doesn't usually wrinkle. So that, it's better for me that way.
For travel.
Yeah. And it's thinner, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I will say, in the spirit of trying to buy more natural fibers, when we were in Italy last June, we were very hot. It was the first week of June, but it was a full blast of summer. and
unseasonably hot,
even for Rome in the summer. And so after our week-long trip, we were at the airport in Rome, and we had gone to Budapest too, and as we talked about back when we went, and that was a little bit less steamy, a little less hot, just a bit. It was still warm, but a bit more temperate. But Rome was definitely humid, hot, all of the things. So natural fibers, absolutely. Anything loose, absolutely. And by the time we were done, because we had worn a lot of cotton, actually, I had brought a lot of cotton, but by the time we were done, we went to the airport, and there was a Benetton there, which is an Italian brand, if you remember it from the 80s, like I do. But even if you don't, it's just an Italian brand. And they had linen shirts and linen pants.
And linen shorts.
And linen shorts.
So we bought linen.
So we just went, you know what? I'm never going to be without linen again, because this type of heat, you just want to be in full linen. You really, really do. I really understood it more than I ever had. So I bought just it's not even colored. It's the color of linen, I think. Shirt and pants set. So it's like a suit, I guess. It's not really a suit because it's a short sleeve shirt, but kind of feels like a suit when I wear it a little bit, and then it feels put together. And I love traveling with that. But that does require ironing, at least, or you just lean into the wrinkledness of the linen. Depends on how you roll, I guess.
On the other side of the suitcase, here's what I do.
Okay.
So I try to keep all my clothes on that one side. And the other side, I put my shoes.
So I'm not sharing. I thought the other side of the suitcase was my side.
Well, sometimes it is. But if I have my druthers and my suitcase.
And I'm just neck rolling it up.
And you're neck rolling it. And I'm like, I'm gonna live the life of luxury and bring all the clothes I can. I'll usually bring shoes that I tuck my belts into. I'll tuck my if I'm wearing a watch, I'll tuck my watch into those shoes, and any other things I can fit inside the shoes. I bring my slippers, my Birkenstock slippers, because
they're sandals, but he calls them slippers, just so you know.
These aren't sandals. Is that what you'd call a sandal?
Birkenstock does not. I mean, they might make a slipper, but these would never be called slippers.
Oh, this is
You're like an old man that calls lunch dinner.
No, this is a slipper. In Italian, this would be a slipper.
I know, that's why you call them slippers. Wow. But I'm gonna break your heart and tell you, the rest of the world would call them sandals, Birkenstock sandals.
That, you know what that is in Italian? It's a ciabatta, and that's not what you put meat into and eat bread. That's a proper slipper.
Well, it's a sandal.
Okay.
Sandalo is how we would say it.
Okay, well,
because that's what it is.
I disagree, but anyways.
It's a Birkenstock, and folks, it looks like this isn't a special slipper version of a Birkenstock like the Birkenstock clogs. This is straight up the two flaps over with the buckle, made out of is it silicone, plastic?
That's plastic foam, some sort of foam.
You know, good grade, whatever Birkenstock. I'm wearing the exact same ones.
I have the leather ones too, but those are my casual slippers. So anyways, I bring those two.
That are also sandals. These are Birkenstock sandals, just for the record.
Okay. I bring them, call them what you will.
Ciabatta.
And then I will put my toiletry bag, I think I mentioned that, and any other non-cloth item that I have to bring. Toothbrush.
Wait, you put your toothbrush in your shoes?
No. My shoes are full with socks, belts, watches, cufflinks, whatever I might need. If I'm wearing a suit, will go in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have my toiletry bag, and then I'll have any other little accoutrement that I need that's not a clothing item.
Okay.
Stays on the other side. And then what I like to do, Amanda, and I do this, but Amanda could care less, I travel with a non-permeable pillowcase that I can zip up, and I can put the pillow that I sleep on in this pillowcase, and I zip it up, and I've written on non-washable marker my name on it so I don't forget it in the hotel.
But you don't do that a lot.
I forgot to bring it last time, but I do usually bring that.
Do you use the mesh thingy in the middle of the suitcase, the divider?
You know, sometimes I do, and I think I have stuff that I forgot in there. I'll usually pack sometimes I'll pack like powdery things in there, like drink aids or whatever. And
Not what I thought you'd say.
what do you pack in that meshy thing?
Not drink aids. I don't know. Usually I pack my underwear in there, and I pack my travel jewelry case in there. Usually,
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't used your travel jewelry case for necklaces that I got you.
Yes, I have.
The zippy one?
Oh no, I haven't. Where is that even? I don't know.
Because sometimes your necklaces tangle. That's why I got you that one.
I'm trying to picture what that one looks like. I don't remember what
It's
it
like
looks like.
it's like an accordion, and each one has a little zipper for each
Okay.
individual
I don't know where
necklace.
it is.
Oh.
I gotta find out where it is, I guess. I was looking for my shamrock necklace and I couldn't find it.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Not sure. I have a shamrock. Don't know where it went.
Okay, well,
Better wait till next year.
I found something today that, so
Oh my goodness, I know.
we're recording this March 17th,
Mhm.
and my birthday is December 17th, just
Oh,
for
yeah.
perspective. And my in-laws gave me a birthday card in November.
My mom is early with the birthdays.
She's early, but she gave me a birthday.
She's chilled out, but she used to like to wish you a happy birthday, like a Facebook tribute, and she would do it solidly like 2 days in advance. So then everyone would start wishing you happy birthday, like
So
2 days early.
So she gave me my birthday card when we were all together on a recent trip to New York City. And so I was planning to open it in front of them, even though it would be a bit early for my birthday, but I wanted to open it in front of them. And so I brought it down to lunch with us, and I did not open it because we were just talking with friends and whatnot.
Right.
And so it just didn't happen. And then I had this card all through New York, came home, could not find the card.
Right.
Could not find the card, couldn't find the card, couldn't find the card. And then we went to Florida for Christmas and I didn't have the card. And so your mom asked, "Oh, did you open the card?" Blah, blah, blah. And I said, I didn't. And so she felt bad and she gave me another present and whatnot. And I said, I know I'm going to find the card. Well, today, exactly 3 months later, I found the card.
And where was it?
So I keep a copy of our car insurance and our health insurance in the meshy part of the suitcase.
That's right.
And
you
that's
do.
where it stays.
And our passports, copies of our
Copies of our
passports. So if those go missing, that we have copies of them, yeah.
So I keep them there just in case we need them, so I know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I took them out when we got back for whatever reason, and the card was in there. So I took it out with the insurance, and I put the insurance paperwork down so I would have it for future travel. And the card was there, buried amongst the insurance paper
Wow.
and the passport paper photocopies. And so today I grabbed a whole bunch of papers and I was going to go through them. And lo and behold, out pops the card. I'm like, what card is this? And then as I'm opening, I'm like, oh, is this the? And sure enough, it was the card.
How was the card?
It was really lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should call my parents.
I will. I'll call them tomorrow and let them know I found the card.
Oh, they'll love that.
And I'm usually really on top of things like that. I don't generally lose things like that. And then that happened. I think that's happened twice with your folks where I've lost the card.
They give it to you so early, and then by the time it's your birthday, you're like, what did we do with it? It happens a lot to
We
us.
now have a designated space for early cards and things like that in our home, so we don't misplace them.
We can use an organizational overhaul.
True.
I think we're due for a little bit of an organizational regroup.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll talk about that on the next one, like how we're going to reorganize some things in our house.
I'd like that.
It's
yeah.
time.
It's
I
time.
think.
And spring is here, so it's always nice
spring
to do.
cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, open the windows.
Although today was very cold.
It was very snowy. Still in the snow.
And we have to get our Vespa because the place where we store it, they're like, you got to come before the 31st.
There was a snowstorm yesterday.
Snow.
They don't care.
They don't care. I can't wait to see crocuses. I'm sure some people listening have already seen the crocus, have seen the tulips coming up. And
Well, there's people everywhere, so
it's true.
they're seeing all sorts of stuff. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's fall where they are.
Fair enough. Well, I wanted to talk about the suitcases, so thank you for that. Thank you for telling us about the neck roll, Amanda.
It'll change your life, folks.
Another thing that I told our mutual friend Mark Browning about, and he went on a trip to the Philippines, and he was so grateful. I told him to bring a travel scale, the kind that's it's like a hook on a handle, and you put the hook on the suitcase, and as you lift the handle with the hook on it, it lifts up your suitcase, and that will weigh the weight of your suitcase.
Yeah, it tells you the weight. Yeah.
And so he was like, we thought my girlfriend's suitcase was perfectly in weight, or she told him, no, it's within weight. And he said, let's just weigh it. And it was 20 pounds over the legal limit.
Oh my goodness.
So he's like, I was so grateful because we were able to distribute.
So he didn't have one, and you told him go get one?
I told him, he's like, you travel a lot. What are some essentials that you would say to travel with? And I said, one of the things that I love.
Did you tell him about the neck pillow?
The travel scale, the neck pillow.
Did he get one?
No, he did not get a neck pillow.
When you've already allotted for the big suitcases, then there's less need. It's more for those, 3-4 day weekend trips.
But the other thing I told him to get, and he was grateful for as well, was spray propolis.
Yes.
And so
we need to tell our listeners what that is, anyone who's still awake.
His girlfriend used it when she was feeling like a bit of a sore throat, and it helped.
Propolis is a magic thing that bees make, and that's what they use to seal their hives. It is antiviral and antibacterial and antifungal. So it keeps any viruses out, any bacteria, foreign matter out.
Of the hive.
And it has properties to repel or kill those things. And so they make a spray with it. And if you're feeling like you've been around some sick people, or you feel that little tickle in your throat, I'm telling you, you spray it in your throat and it feels like magic. It really does.
However, I will say this with a big caveat. If you're allergic to bee stings or bee pollen or honey, do not use propolis.
We're also not medical doctors,
so
for the record.
Don't use everything we say with discretion and speak to your doctor.
All I'm going to say is that if you like honey, like I do, like I'm obsessed with honey, if you like honey and you like the taste of pollen and things like that, then this product is probably for you, and it's a great thing to travel with. Absolutely.
So there you have it, our suitcase, some of our essentials. Let us know what you like to travel with and what your travel essential is. And for those of you who listen to our podcast, thank you for listening. If you're a new listener, thank you as well. And we hope this episode allowed you to listen and sleep.